What's up, pretty gang? It's your favorite nail tech, Peaches, back with another video. So before we get started, I just want to go ahead and apologize for kind of being missing the past couple days. I've just been really tired, going to bed early, all of that stuff, you know, whatever. So look, I've been talking to you guys about brand versus brand. Why does brand matter? Why do you use higher quality products as you advance into your career? Okay, today's the day. Nail Supply Glamour, not polished. I'm gonna get into the details and show you guys a side-by-side comparison of what I'm talking about. So before we go ahead and get into it, we're gonna do our subscriber shout out, and it goes to His Treasured One. You guys don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, turn on your damn notifications, and click the join button to become a member, okay? So first off, we are going to compare Milky White, not polished, and Nail Supply Glamour. So the first swatch in this whole video, it's always going to be not polished first, just so y'all know, okay? So here's what the bead is looking like. Now you guys always know, I always say, if you want to see how a brand does, do a light, a bright, a dark, you know, and a white and a red type of situation. So that's exactly what we're doing. So I'm basically showing you. You see how smoothly and how nicely not polished is going. You guys, white is such a difficult color to work with. It took me a good amount of time to find whites that I actually like to use. Although this is called Milky White, I do use this white when I'm like going for a more Coke white look, just because I like the consistency better than just bright ass like Coke white. When I actually use a color that is more Milky White, like a little more translucent, you guys know I use Young Nails Core White, because I like that consistency as well. So you guys can see no problems. Normally white is very leaky, it doesn't stay as solid, and you can see from the side it was a pretty solid bead. It carried down well. I don't have to wait for it to like solidify, polymerize, all that stuff. It did me well. Okay, you see what I'm saying? Like, you can tell its quality. It's not all over the place. My liquid to powder ratio is going to remain the same all throughout this video, okay, just so you guys know. So here's Nail Supply Glamour's Milky White. You guys, it has been a good minute since I have used this stuff, literally since 2020, summer 2020. Okay, I have so much of their collections. Okay, so you can see kind of right off the bat, even with the same liquid to powder ratio, it's a little bit more runny. Okay, now if you are a beginner, I always say Nail Supply Glamour, they have a lot of colors. Mind you, this is their formula from years ago. Things could have changed. Their stuff might not be as runny as this, but if you are a beginner, Nail Supply Glamour is a great place to kind of start. Okay, I first started with the Glam and Glitz. I absolutely do not recommend them. Okay, their shit is runny as hell, and I feel like their stuff marbles a lot. But you can see, yes, it takes a little bit longer for this Milky White to dry, but you do have a lot of time to work with it. So if you're a beginner, that's going to be a good thing for you before you advance on to another system like not polished. Now, the only reason why I say you can start with a system like this, Nail Supply Glamour, is the affordability and the price point. Okay, I think jars this size, I want to say, is about $7. You can see it's a little more thinner when you turn to the side because it is a little bit more, it holds more liquid. Okay, so when you turn to the side, the beads are not as solid, and you have to use more beads to get more strength. Okay, but the price point for Nail Supply Glamour is going to run you between $5 to $7+, give or take. Now, the thing you also have to remember, Nail Supply Glamour is only half an ounce for their glow in the dark and 1 ounce for their regular colors, whereas not polished, it's going to run you between $14 to $20, depending on, you know, where you get it, etc. But it is 2-ounce jars. Okay, so you can see on the left we've got not polished, and on the right we've got Nail Supply Glamour. This is what they've dried down to. In the end, pretty similar. Okay, so next we got our nudes, Nutmeg and Second Nude. Okay, here we go. Not polished. Now you can see as I'm getting the beads, okay, this is a liquid to powder ratio that works for me, that I like. I end up going in for one more bead because I did want I just wanted more product, basically. So you can see everything's going fine, nice and smooth. I don't have to work the product too much. It's kind of just setting up, and all I have to do is guide it. Okay, so you guys have seen me use Second Nude before. You've seen me use Peaky Nude. You've seen me use a lot of their nudes. Okay, they don't do me wrong. You can see I just tap, bring it down, and just take off the excess. Now, I always suggest you guys using swatches as practice. Don't just do your swatches willy-nilly. Okay, take the time to set up your swatches and really make them look nice, because it is practice for your acrylic control. Okay, we don't want beads running all over the place, and you can see with not polished, that's not happening. Okay, because if it ain't not polished, is what is not nothing, never will be, never has been. Okay, so you can see all I'm doing is really guiding, keeping everything in place. I don't have to keep working the product too much. At this point, I'm just making sure it's just drying in place, and you can see that was a pretty solid application. Okay, gives nice strength. So next we've got Nutmeg from Supply Glamour. Now, mind you, when I'm choosing these colors, I have not opened these in a while. I didn't look at swatches. I just chose from like looking at the jar what's most similar to colors that I have. Okay, so you see that right there? That right there is what I'm talking about when I say certain colors marble in certain brands. Now, this particular brand, I have talked about the marbling, and I have talked about, you know, some other issues that I had back then that may be due to me not being as advanced as I am now. But you can see how this nude kind of marbled, and you can see how it is not as solid. Even with the same amount of product, it's just not as solid. It's a little more thin. I have to work the product just a little bit more to keep it from running all over the place. And, you know, again, not that this is like poor quality, it's just not as good quality as not polished, I feel, because you can see this just, it holds on to more liquid, honestly. So it is a little bit more liquidy. Even with the same liquid to powder ratio, I still have to use more acrylic than I normally would, which means in the end and in the long run, I am wasting product, which is wasting money. Okay, not to mention time. So you can see how where before it was taking me longer to complete sets, things like that. Sometimes it's not always you. Sometimes if you feel like you've gotten your application down pretty well and you're feeling like, man, you know, the colors are not consistent from time to time, or, you know, using certain colors and this and the other, it might be time to upgrade to a little bit better of a system. Okay, so this is why I'm showing you guys, to show you like, yes, brand does actually make a difference, as long as you can recognize, hey, I'm improving, I know what it should be, I'm on the right track, but it's just this last little bit, this last little piece. So you see how it's still thin compared to the other nude. So that's how you know this is like leveling. It's very self-leveling. If you don't know what that means, self-leveling is, hey, when you lay the product down, does it kind of flatten out, or is it lumping up? You know what I'm saying? So you can see how much difference it is. So here we go, second nude and Nutmeg. Once again, they dry down pretty similarly, and you wouldn't be able to tell. So here we go. I'm a Mess. This is a glow color by Not Polished, and the other one I believe is Icy Lavender. I used to love that color like so much. So I'm a Mess. Here we go. So I'm trying to get a nice size bead, and you guys can see as soon as I set down the beads from Not Polished, they just wait for me. They stay in place. They wait for me to kind of work it how I need to work it. And I personally really appreciate that in product, because honestly, I don't have time to wait for stuff to set up. I need something that is just gonna do what it needs to do. Okay, now please keep in mind that depending on the liquid that you use and everything, I do use Young Nail liquid, because y'all know I'm a Young Nails girl, always and forever, and that liquid is very universal. Now, Nail Supply Glamour does sell liquid. I've never used it before, so keep that in mind. I don't know how differently their product reacts with their own liquid, but just also keep in mind they didn't always have their own liquid. That's something that kind of happened, I don't want to say more recently, but you know, when I was first buying it, I think they came out with their liquid as I was in the process of doing stuff, you know. So here we go. You can already see this is a pretty nice even level, no problems. Look how fast that was, that it's already starting to kind of dry. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's not too much. Okay, here's the Icy Lavender. It's not too much, but it's also not liquidy. Now here we go with the lights. Light colors tend to be a little bit more runny. This is why we always use light colors as a test. Lights and whites is a good gauge to see how runny is this color or this brand. So you can see as I set it down, you can see the bead is spreading, but it is holding on to a little more liquid. So I'm gonna have to work it a little bit more to make sure that it continues to like polymerize and set up. Okay, so that way I can continue to work it down and bring it. I've mentioned in other videos, you want your acrylic to move down as a unit, okay? Because you want to be able to keep that strength. Light colors tend to be a little more watery, like I said, and when they are more watery, all the acrylic doesn't move down at once. You have different areas that are moving down at different times, and it takes away from the strength of the nail. Like, I want to do a whole nother video about nail strength. Now you can see my brush is acting up. I am getting product in my brush. Yeah, I'm not gonna blame that fully on this like system or anything like that, because my brush was already kind of dirty, but you can see it's not very thickened up, which would mean that if this was a real nail, it would be on the weaker side. You'd have to go in with more beads to go ahead and strengthen it up, and that was something that, you see what I'm saying, more beads. That was something that I didn't always like. I didn't like that. You have to use so many beads with this particular system. Like I said, it's good for beginners, because then you realize, okay, look, I do or I don't like this system. I know what I like. I like the variety in colors. I just didn't feel like as well they didn't replace their colors as often. Like certain colors was always sold out, and it's like, damn, how do I keep this color if it's always sold out? You know what I'm saying? So you see, I'm still working it because it's not all the way dry, and I need to make sure that it's not going to dent or move out of place. So, you know, here we go. I'm a Mess versus Icy Lavender. In the end, they pretty much dried down similarly. So it's like the end result, you're not going to necessarily be able to tell. Okay, so we got Feeling Lucky Not Polished, and we got Life from Nail Supply Glamour. In the end, you're not going to be able to tell too much. It's just what's the process of getting there, okay? So you guys know with brights tend to be holding on to a lot more liquid. They tend to need more beads sometimes. They tend to need more beads sometimes, just because like they self-level, and a lot of times it's not enough strength depending on what you're doing. But I do appreciate that not polished. Like I said, I really feel like they use clear and pigment instead of white and pigment. That's my theory, because clear is a lot stronger than white, and it marbles a lot less, and that's why I feel like their pigments and their colors are so not only pigmented but actually very strong. You know what I'm saying? So here we go. You see how easy that was? And I like that their bright color, you can see this color is really not holding on to too much liquid. It's not running all over the place or anything like that. That's what you want. That's what you need. Now, I'm going to keep saying this throughout the video. If you're a beginner, do you need to be rushing to buy not polished? No, you don't. Because chances are 2-ounce jars, you're not going to be replacing them often, but if you don't like the color or if it's not used, you're going to feel like you've just wasted $20. Okay, like I said, $15 to $20. Now with the other colors, they are in 1-ounce jars, and they are way cheaper. So if you don't like something, you know, you're only going to get about a couple sets out of it anyways, and you can move on and decide, hey, did I like that or not? So like I said previously, the brand does matter, because that is a make or break in, hey, how much time does it take for this brand to dry? How much time does it take to actually do the application? By the time I get done with one hand, is the other hand done? You know what I'm saying? So all that makes a difference. So you saw pretty nice thickness. Okay, so here we go. Here's Life by Nail Supply Glamour. So you can see the bead is pretty much very similar. Now you see that marbling, you see that how the green, like there's little areas of different types of green that I'm trying to point out to you. That is the marbling I'm talking about, and that's why I feel like their colors are made with white. This is why I always say, what's that brand, Glam and Glitz, a lot of their colors do that really bad, to the point where like you literally can see the white acrylic. Okay, this particular color, it's like, okay, it did it a little bit, but a lot of their colors do this. I'm not even gonna lie, and that's one of the reasons why I stopped using it, because sometimes you don't get an even color payoff depending on your skill level. You got to know how to kind of finesse stuff. When it does marble, you have to know how to finesse, and just make sure you keep everything as thick as you can. You see how I left the once the bead is on there, we've got our thickness, we've got our strength. When stuff marbles, as you file, you may be able to see that some, which oddly enough, that happens with nudes sometimes when you do like French and stuff. Not from it marbling, but like when you file, if you file too too much, you might get different layers of the nude within the nude. And yeah, anyways, that's neither here nor there. But you saw the marbling, right? It takes a lot more time to dry. That one actually got dented several minutes afterwards. Okay, but when it dries down, you wouldn't be able to tell. So here we go, Lip Talk in Neon Red. So y'all already know, like I said, a light, a bright, a white, a dark, and a red. Red is not the easiest color to use, so we're gonna start with Lip Talk, not polish. I really like how their reds apply. Okay, they apply nice and smooth. You can see as soon as I set it down, it's not going nowhere. It's not spreading out too much. It's not doing too much of nothing. Okay, I do tend to work with smaller beads sometimes when it comes to red, just because I don't want it to run all over. Okay, like I said, a lot of these colors are the more difficult colors. The ones in this video today, they are the most difficult colors to kind of use. I just didn't do black because I actually couldn't find the black for the other brand in my trunk, so I just kind of stuck with these. But we're bringing it down. You can see the red is together. It's doing what it's supposed to do. Okay, so at this point, after this, I think we only have just one more color after this. But you can see, easy application with not polish. You don't have to do much. You really, as long as your application is good already, you know, with other brands, when you're using more higher quality brands, you don't have to do much. You really are just guiding the acrylic down, except for if random circumstances happen that's, you know, causing trouble or something like that. You don't have to worry about too much, okay? And that's what you want, because you want to have the best formula that works for you. Okay, it doesn't have to be not polished. That for you, that could be not that could be Valentino, that could be Young Nails, it could be, hell, it could be Nail Supply Glamour. Whatever it is, the brand definitely matters. Okay, so here we go, Neon Red by Nail Supply Glamour. This was one of my favorite reds when I was using this brand. So here we go. So you can see, set it down, you can see it holds on to a little more liquid based on how I already set it there. It just doesn't set up as quickly. So it would essentially be trying to flood into the cuticles, and I would have to move fast to kind of like correct it. So I mean, you can see for yourself which red performed a little better. This one, like I said, this one is not horrible. It's not trash. This is not a super duper bad formula. I have definitely used worse, but just compared to what I was using, once again, this one performed, you know, just not as well, just because it's just taking more time, and that's point blank period. That's all it is. Okay, same liquid to powder ratio, same monomer, same everything. It's just a different formula for the powder. Things just mixed up differently, different amounts of all types of things. Guys, I'm so sorry. It's like 11 o'clock at night. I'm a little tired. Okay, but we almost done. We're almost there. Appreciate y'all sticking with me. You guys, do not forget, if you do want access to exclusive content, my group coaching sessions, my one-on-one coaching sessions, go ahead and click that join button. I also have the link in the description for you to go ahead and join a membership. If you are interested in just standard exclusive content, I do have the Pearl level, okay, for those who just want access to member only videos. And then after that, we've got the Gold level for those who want even more perks. And for those who are interested in those coaching sessions, again, that is the Diamond level. So, you know, just go ahead, give it a try, and see how you like it. Okay, so Lip Talk, Neon Red. Again, they look pretty much identical. It's just the drying time and the application time is what makes the difference. So, and just to complete my thought previously, once I actually have members, that is when I will be putting out way more like members only content, of course. So yeah, just keep that in mind if you're interested in more in-depth videos like this. This is what I plan on putting out. Okay, Now, here we go. This one is a glow in the dark. So the little marbling you see, it's not the actual blue color. It's the glow in the dark powder. I didn't really shake it up too well before I went ahead and used it. But sometimes this does happen with glow colors. It's no big deal. It doesn't actually affect anything. It can affect the glow sometimes. Like, it's still gonna glow, but some areas may glow a little bit more. But yeah, you can see it's still set up nicely. Very smooth. I'm just going ahead and controlling it and moving it to where I need to move it. No issues really or anything like that. And you can see once it's dry, you're not going to see any of where that like initial little marbling happened from the glow powder. And that's just what it is. I mean, you can see it takes no time at all to place these colors, especially on these little beads. I mean, these little, what are these called? Swatch sticks. Okay. I really hope this video is helpful for those that are really wondering on which direction to go with brand. The not polished swatches, when you're looking for a brand, this is really what you should look for. You should look for something that's easy to go ahead and applicate, I guess, to apply. I'm so stupid. Something that's easy to apply, something that does not have a very, very long drying time. Like, by the time you're done with one nail and you move on to the next one, that one should be on its way to being dry, you know. So here is the last color, Denim by Supply Glamour. I used to love this color too, but this color used to have issues with drying. This time around it actually didn't. It's probably because it's not a full nail, but yeah, I used to have problems to where I'd finish application and go to file and the actual color would just kind of file off in chunks. So that was kind of interesting. I didn't really care for that, but again, it could be different formula, different things like that. Okay, so you can see this one's not too runny. Usually dark blues can be a lot runnier, but I really think it's just because I have really I'm almost perfecting my like application. So this is like best case scenario for all of these colors and applying all of these different, more difficult colors in general, working with different brands. I have learned how to kind of like adjust as needed and keep everything together. If you're a beginner, it's gonna be a little bit more difficult than this for you. Keep that in mind. I know it's kind of hard to see it through me because I have been doing this for like the past 2 years, so certain stuff comes a little bit easier to me than somebody just starting out. But I really just wanted to take the time to show you guys that brand does matter, but that does not mean that you need to right out the gate buy the best or what you think or what someone's telling you is the best. Okay, do not think that at all. Like I said, we just compared some $20 product to some $7 product. Okay, I mean, the color payoff and everything was pretty much similar. The only thing that's different is the time it takes for application and the time that it takes for drying. Okay, so here is the two colors, Narcos and Denim. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. I plan on doing more videos like it. You guys please don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, join to become a member, and of course I will see you guys in the next one.